Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on March 25th, Wednesday, 2015. Annunciation Day, and it's 14:15 in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. Now, yesterday I remarked that I was doing my tax forms. Well, here you see the results of the federal. The state is yet to come here in the next day. Well, the state won't take all that long. But here's what somebody who does not have, I don't have very many complex, my taxes aren't complex. But see, you've got the individual forms here, and then you have the various schedules, itemized deductions, then the interest and dividends, and then since I have since I'm still considered in private practice, here's my Schedule C for my, my sole proprietorship. Then we have the capital gains and losses things, 2 pages. And then you have then the Schedule D, the capital gains and losses worksheets. All right, okay. And then you've got the alternative minimum tax. Now, I don't have to pay alternative minimum tax, but in order to find out whether I do or not, I have to fill out this 2-page form, which references some of the numbers generated over here on the Schedule D tax worksheet. And then since I'm now on Social Security, here's a thing to figure out how much tax I owe on my Social Security. And then we come to the crown jewel of this year's idiocy. The shared responsibility payment worksheet. I love that. They can't be intellectually honest about it and call it a penalty or a tax. It's a shared responsibility payment worksheet. Much like you're participating in a carpool for a bunch of youngsters, to take them to preschool. We're going to share the responsibility. Give me a break. Well, turns out they're only going to nail me for $656 extra bucks on that one. Our government helping us. Well, it could be worse. I mean, we could have European tax rates. Good Lord. I mean, the real killer up here is the real estate tax. All right. Well, there have been other developments afoot here on the Island of Peace. After I did my sort of 2.5, 3 hours of tax work this morning. The Palm Sunday is coming up this Sunday. And the readings are handled somewhat differently than the other readings on that particular service, in that service. In terms of the Passion Gospel, it's often read in a sort of a communal, participatory way. You generally have a narrator and then a fellow that plays Jesus, and then members of the congregation, various members of the congregation will chime in with different, different characters in the narrative. Peter, Judas, members of the council, the crowd. Pilate, soldiers, centurion. And so I got an email today from Roseanne, our acting rector, who wanted to know, she sent it out to the regular lay readers, and wanted to know who wanted to do what and so forth. And she says, because we're having a single service, at 9:30 on Sunday morning. And it's otherwise a youth service, or a ute service as I call it, but she says, please hit reply all when you respond so all can see what is still available. Well, this puzzled me a bit, since I've never used my reply all function. Please hit reply all when you respond so all can see what is still available. Okay, well, all right. Well, I responded right away, but I responded just to her because I didn't know how to do respond all. But I thought, best to get in, as soon as possible. I said, I've done the narrator before, but I'm willing to do anything that will help, obviously. Excuse me, gosh, I'm stopped up. Oh well. Well then, my judge buddy said that he's always been pilot, so he wants to be pilot. And then apparently somewhere along in that, a few minutes later, this is all happening within the span of maybe less than 15 minutes. I thought, well, maybe I ought to try this reply all thing, and I sort of thought maybe I'd figured out how to do it, but clearly I hadn't. Because when I went to my sent function, I just sent it right back to our acting rector, without a message this time. So, okay. So then another individual replied and said that she'd like to be part of the readings as well. And I've read with her before on the Passion Gospel on a Palm Sunday, and she's very good. And then finally I replied to Roseanne. I said, clearly I don't know how to reply all. Time for another session with my David Pogue book. My David Pogue book being, Yosemite, the Missing Manual. And then replying to a message. But, he basically just says, hit reply all. But what he doesn't really address is how many cracks you get at reply all. I mean, do you only get one bite of that apple? Not to make a pun. You only get one bite of that apple to send the reply all, or can you do it at any other time? Or he's normally explaining everything in great detail about stuff that I would never use. But when it comes to things like, reply all, you get one sentence and no elaboration at all. And then another individual replied, they're going to be out of town. And then another guy said he can be the soldier. And then somebody else said, let me continue being the Judas, the traitor. And then somebody else says they're not going to be there Sunday. Two people will be out of town, I guess. And so I thought, I didn't want to keep trying this reply all function because I didn't want to end up actually, if all of these things are actually sending, I didn't want to end up badgering people, via email. So I'm sure in time, somebody's going to square me away or fill me in on this. So that's been about it today. Yeah. We had a nice little thunderstorm roll through here this morning without any, no damage, but we had some nice, impressive thunder and some lightning. Power didn't go out. That's good. It's up around, that's mid-40s right now. But it's windy. It's nice. It's windy. It's gotten quite windy. All right. Well, that's about it for today, actually, when you get right down to it. Paul's off tomorrow. I probably won't be able to get any substantive tax work done tomorrow. But then on Friday, I ought to be able to get everything squared away on Friday. Certainly by Saturday. Yeah. I mean, I have till April 15th, but I sort of like to get things done when you're, doing this. So, alrighty. Bye-bye, YouTubers.